My name is Douglas Chang. I love sports. I actually go to Bothell right now, and I'm a senior. I'm about to graduate. Uh, I love basketball. I tend to watch a lot of basketball every year. I always play fantasy basketball. I know most of the players, and yeah, and I'm excited for this playoffs.
What are your overall impressions of the first round of the 2013 NBA playoffs?
Well, no surprises as the Miami Heat swept the Bucks. That the lower end of the Eastern Conference is really bad. But you saw the power of the West because none of the other than the Spurs, because Kobe was injured in that series, none of the West really got blown out. I mean, actually all the games, even the West and East, other than those Miami and the Spurs and Lakers and Miami Bucks games, all the other ones went to 6 or 7 games. And there was even a surprise in the Brooklyn Nets versus the Chicago Bulls, because Brooklyn Nets, I believe, were up 2-0 at one point, and then Chicago just came back, especially with the injury to Derrick Rose. That was amazing. But other than that, it was pretty exciting. Clippers, Grizzlies. Who knew the Grizzlies were going to beat the Clippers in 6?
What teams really surprised you coming out of the first round?
Oh, well, definitely Chicago. Who would have thought they would have won that series, especially without Derrick Rose? And we kind of found out that the Nets were definitely overpaid, definitely. But other than that, I would say the Pacers. I mean, I honestly don't know that many people on that team. I know there's David West, they got George Hill. I mean, Danny Granger's been injured all season, but they keep putting it up. And Roy Hibbert, who would have thought that they would have dominated in the paint so much against what is it, Atlanta? Yeah, Atlanta. I mean, Josh Smith, Al Horford, and all they have is David West and Roy Hibbert. I mean, that's pretty amazing.
So, tell me what were some of the most exciting matchups in the first round for you?
Oh, in the first round? Oh, yeah. As I was explaining, the Brooklyn Nets versus Chicago Bulls. That was some pretty good basketball. We kind of found out that the Brooklyn Nets were kind of overpaid, and they don't have any superstars, because that defensive team without any superstars in Chicago just killed them in the end, and Nate Robinson just kind of scored at will. Who would have thought it? Other than that, I would say Memphis. It was pretty much the battle of the two big men, Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan versus Marcus Gasol and Zach Randolph, as well as the 2 point guards and Chris Paul and Mike Conley. And Mike Conley stepped up. I mean, Chris Paul was everywhere, but the bigs of the Clippers couldn't really stop the Memphis bigs. Zach Randolph just stayed on under the rim and just kind of did what he wanted. Marcus Gasol just kind of dominated the defensive end, so it's pretty interesting stuff.
Who is your favorite underdog in the Western Conference, and likewise in the Eastern Conference?
Well, currently, in the Western Conference, it would have to be Golden State, because San Antonio right now seems to be the favorites, and they are an older team, but they swept the Lakers in the first series, so they're pretty well rested, and they're doing this year in, year out. You gotta expect them to make it. But Golden State, with Steph Curry stepping up lately, it's been pretty amazing. I mean, that and David Lee is coming back with Bogut. I mean, that's an amazing team right there. I'm really I mean, this is the underdog that I think they have a chance, if they do step up, to beat the Spurs. Unlikely, but they have a chance. The underdog in the East, I would have to say Chicago. There is no chance they're going to beat Miami. I mean, unless somehow Nate Robinson puts up 50 every game, that is not going to happen. Or maybe if LeBron James gets injured, but yeah, he's not going to get injured. He's a freak. And those are my underdogs, yeah.
What are your 2013 NBA Finals prediction, and who will be champion?
Well, out of the East, there's only one team coming out. It's Miami. I mean, as I said, if there's a crazy injury or something, but most likely not. Even then, they're probably not gonna have to work too hard to get out of there. The East seems pretty weak. So yeah, no, Miami's obviously gonna get out of the East. In the West, they could seriously be anyone. They're all pretty competitive. They all have their bonuses. I would have to say I really like Memphis, but You know, I can see them being OKC, but the Spurs, I think this may be their final champion. They're going on the final championship before Tim Duncan retires, and that team has always been in contention for like what, the last 10 years. Even in Tim Duncan's rookie season, you know, I mean it's been that long. They have such a good team, and they rested. And unless Golden State gives them a lot of trouble, if San Antonio can beat them within 4 or 5 games, they're gonna have a great chance. But yeah, okay, so I would say San Antonio's coming out, but no one's beating Miami. No one's beating Miami.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem.